Good afternoon. John Kirikopoulos here with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, giving you a little market update of what's happening in our real estate world. If you're noticing, as I am noticing, previous year we had about 2,800 people under contract. This same week, compared to last year, we have now 4,800. So that's almost a 48% increase from previous years. And that's happening each week. So with that being said, inventory, whatever inventory is available out there, it's getting bought up. We are very, very extremely low in inventory. So with that being said, my subject today is, how does a buyer buy in a seller's market? You know, I have a guidebook here. Subscribe to my YouTube. You could download this very easily, or stay tuned and we'll discuss. So how does one buyer buy in a seller's market? Well, first and foremost, I would say if I'm a buyer, I'm going to hire a realtor. A realtor doesn't cost you really much of anything, because most sellers pay the realtor the fee for the buyer's agent. They pay the cooperative commission. So the seller's, in a sense, telling, hey, realtor, if you bring me a buyer, I'm going to pay you a certain percentage. So as a buyer, it doesn't cost you really not that much, unless the real estate agent decides to, charge you a fee, a retainer fee, like an attorney does. But if he really likes you, the realtor really likes you and wants to work with you, he'll probably waive that fee. So with that being said, I want to talk a little bit about some tricks and tips that might help you, because when you're up against 10 other offers, what separates you from every other offer out on the table? Purchase price might be another thing. All the meats and parts of the, close date might be a thing. I mean, there's a bunch of other aspects that, will factor into that seller. Now, what I will say, we'll talk about three things today, 3 tips that will help you get to that purchase agreement acceptance, and then going through the hoops to go to the closing table and then getting into your new home. So one of the things that I recommend, escalation clauses. Is it a good thing? Some sellers like it. Some sellers want to do without it. They just want the highest and best. But if you're writing up a escalation clause, I'll explain a little bit. Say the house is listed at $200,000. You put in your offer at list, let's say $200,000. Now, another offer, for any other offer that comes in, let's say you wrote up the escalation clause that you'll pay $2,000 above any other offer up to a certain point. So let's say your max is $225,000 for that house. So you write it up as $200,000 for list. If another offer comes in, you will escalate it $2,000 above that offer. So if, say, said offer is written at $218,000, your escalation clause will bump your contract to $220,000, and you'll hopefully win on the purchase price. That is a good thing, and that can be a bad thing. I mean, the bad thing about it is it might not appraise, like the house might not appraise, and although you've escalated it to go up to a higher amount, you'll probably have to renegotiate later about the appraisal, whether you're going to accept it at this or you're going to take the appraisal amount. It depends on how bad you want the house and what type of funds you have to do it. Another thing that I would like to talk about, another tool that you could do is have my company, we have an inside mortgage company called Prosperity Home Mortgage. And one of the tools that my company has is called the Buyer's Advantage tool. What that basically is you get a pre-approval letter, and then you go through the whole process of underwriting. So what that is you put in your income information, you put all your tax information, you run through the credit reports, you get through every little bit like if it was underwriting for a mortgage. And they give you basically a underwritten approval letter. It is the next best thing to a cash offer. That's how good it is, because it's already gone through the ringer of the through the banking process with all that underwriting. So you've got that. You have to prepare ahead to do that, but if you do that, it's like cash. I mean, a seller really likes that. Another thing, if you didn't go through that entire process just yet, another tip that I have is have the mortgage broker call the listing agent and kind of explain, A, we've went through the income. B, we've gone through his credit report. C, we've gone through his debt to income ratio. And he's a really, really strong buyer. Coming from the mortgage broker directly to the listing agent will give you that edge against the other buyers, because maybe they haven't done that. If I'm a selling agent and a mortgage guy has called me and says that client's as good as gold versus these other offers, well, which offer am I going to be more apt to want to take? The guy that's giving me all the information and he's giving me the all green, all clear, or there's another guy with that doesn't have that. Who am I gonna accept? So that's just one other way that I highly recommend. So those are three ways. I'll talk about one other way. Love letters, do they work? I don't know. You could write a letter to the homeowners. Some selling agents are not going to want their clients to look at any of those, because it could persuade them. It could, they could get into trouble legally wise and stuff like that, by reading into that. So if you're really interested in buying in this market and you want to work, I've got more tips and tricks to get you to your home. I do have a buyer's guide that you can download. Sign up today. Let's talk. Let's work together, and let's get you into that home, and let's get you to your next home. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. Appreciate it. Have a good day.